Welcome to your walkthrough of Verisk Marketing Solutions' newest dashboard to the Real-Time Decisions product suite. RTD is a suite of tools designed to empower marketers to make choices about how to interact with consumers in real time. This translates to improved customer experiences, higher conversion rates, and ability to identify risk. The product suite works by providing marketers with a more complete picture of the consumer as they are engaging through various features like TCPA Guardian, which helps verify that a consumer has given consent to be contacted by phone in accordance with the Telephone Consumer Protection Act regulations. Identity scoring also helps verify the accuracy of the contact information provided by the consumer. Identity completion can take a single piece of information like a phone number and use that to build a more complete profile of the consumer. And attribute enrichment provides additional insights about the consumer, such as demographics, interests, and financial characteristics. Rounding out the suite is lead intelligence, which helps marketers understand where a purchase lead came from and its potential value. Today, we will focus on identity scoring, completion, and attribute enrichment. By using this information, marketers can make more informed decisions about how to interact with each consumer. For instance, they can personalize their approach based on the consumer's interest or verify the legitimacy of a lead before investing time and resources. By logging into tableau.journaya.com with the credentials supplied to you by the VMS support team, navigate to Explore and Real-Time Decisions. After you've chosen the Identity and Attribute workbook, there are 5 tabs in the workbook: Overview, Identity Scores, Demographics, Property, and Auto. Note that this dashboard does not represent the comprehensive response from our RTD product suite. This is a sampling of responses that have historically been of high value and impact. Definitions for all responses in the full payload can be found at our Help Center located at marketing.verisk.com/Help Center under Real-Time Decisions. Let's start with the Overview tab. At the top, you will see 4 options that will help you filter the data. Query timestamp is essentially your date range. This is representing the time at which a query was made to our API. Under Party Type, you will find 2 options: first party and third party. Depending on what types of leads you are using the RTD data for, you will choose accordingly. First party are your owned and operated leads. Third party are leads purchased from someone else. If during onboarding you set up different audit profiles in the member portal, you can choose those here as well. Lastly, if you would like to look at the data at a provider or lead seller level, you can do so in this dropdown. The first chart is showing queries made to our API over time. You have the ability to zoom out to monthly or into weekly. An important question asked is, what are my fill rates? This second chart shows average fill rates by the categories demographics, property, and auto. You can also zoom out to monthly and into weekly on this chart as well. If fill rate by provider is important to you, the last chart on this page answers that question. Fill rate is influenced by the inputs provided when an API call is made to us. Therefore, if you see varying fill rates by provider, one question you might want to ask is, how is their inputs different from providers with higher fill rates? Moving on to the Identity Scores tab, we see 3 different sections: Validity Scores, Linkage Scores, and Overall Identity Score. Starting with Validity Scores, each of these bar charts is a distribution of the percent of total leads and the varying score ranges. Validity scores are simply answering the question, was this a valid name, a properly constructed email, and a valid 10-digit phone number? The linkage scores provided are name to email, name to phone, and name to address. A high name to email score would indicate that we are confident the name and email provided on the lead form can be linked together, whereas a low name to phone score may indicate low confidence that the name and phone are linked to each other. Lastly, overall identity scores provide you insight into overall scores over time and the overall score distribution. The demographics, property, and auto tabs are all similarly formatted. As I mentioned before, the responses we show in this dashboard are not comprehensive of the full payload. We return many, many more, which can all be found at our Help Center located at marketing.verisk.com/Help Center under Real-Time Decisions. The demographics provided here are age, estimated household income, wealth score, homeownership status, length of residency, household size, gender, and marital status. Each of these bar charts is a distribution based on what we were able to fill. For example, the fill rate for age was 54%, and if you hover over the fill rate, you'll see the count of queries where age was returned. The bar chart is a percentage distribution of that count. So of the 305,900 leads where age was returned, 24% of them were 55 to 64 years old. If you hover over, you'll see the count of queries specified. Another feature of this tab is the Index to VMS Universe chart. If you hover over here, you will get a detailed overview of how to interpret this chart. At a very high level, this chart is helping you understand how your leads are indexing to the overall U.S. population. The Property tab includes property build year, property market value, whether or not the property associated with a lead is a mobile home, if a pool is present, or if a veteran is present in the household. Under property type, we list the top 5 property types for leads where we were able to comment on property, as well as the top 5 roof types. The Auto tab includes number of cars associated with the household, top 5 vehicle brands, and top 5 vehicle makes. This concludes your walkthrough of the Real-Time Decisions attribute and scoring dashboard. If you have any questions or would like to set up time to discuss, reach out to your VMS account team or email us at vmscustomersuccess@verisk.com.